Hello and welcome to our P&O Arvia vlog series. In this episode, there's final day fun on board. We are left disappointed in Brodie's. Was our last speciality meal a Sindhu or a Sindote? And be sure to watch until the end to find out why disembarkation was a little chaotic.
Well, good morning and welcome to our last full day on board Arvia.
Yeah, I think reality's starting to hit home now that it's getting to the end of the cruise, and it has gone so quick.
Really, well, it just feels like that it's flown by, doesn't it?
I know, back in work on Monday.
Yeah. Well, won't talk about it, I've still got another day to go. So this morning we got up and headed straight down to 6th Street Diner for breakfast.
We've had breakfast in 6th Street Diner a couple of times and it's just very easy and convenient.
Yeah, we like the feeling of being there. They do nice mugs of coffee and the breakfast seems to be quite tasty.
Very similar to other venues on board, they do have different breakfast menus with only slight modifications. So for my all-American breakfast that I opted for, instead of coming with tato tots or whatever they're called, it actually came with French toast and maple syrup instead.
I had pancakes with blueberry jam. Again, I've had that before and really enjoyed it. Really nice American style pancakes.
Yeah. In the 6th Street Diner, you get a lovely mug of coffee or tea, as well as a selection of juices.
Okay, so after breakfast, we then headed to the aft of the ship where we picked up our Costa Coffee in the outdoor bar there at the back. Actually, they were just about to close the bar because once again, the swim-up bar had turned into a wave pool and they were getting soaked, the poor barman. So I think ours was the last coffee that they made and then the bar was closed.
If you notice any movement on the camera at the minute, we are travelling through the Bay of Biscay. It's much better than it was when we travelled down to the Canaries, but it's still a little bit rocky.
After breakfast, we then headed up to the top decks and to the aft of the ship where we had a little walk around. We did notice that there were a few people on the altitude high ropes course. Very brave, weren't they, in this weather where we are swaying a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing because there was a family with a couple of young children that actually managed to do the bell. Walk the plank, didn't they?
Disappointed for you.
Yeah,
because
they managed it easy.
You were too scared to do it. Yeah.
We then made the decision to go down onto deck 8 and have and walk a couple of laps of the prom.
Yeah, the sun had come out and it was quite warm, wasn't it? I think the temperature's about 13-14 degrees. So for January, that is very warm, isn't it? In the part of the world that we are. We did a few laps. Very nice. We did notice there was quite a lot of creaking from the ship. We had chatted to a couple of our fellow passengers about this creaking and apparently you can hear it from your cabin. So if you can hear this creaking, please let us know because we would be interested to know what your experiences in the cabins are.
Yeah, so it tends to be the balcony cabins on either side of the ship, really, that go in.
Yeah, they're set back.
Yeah, and it's really loud, isn't it?
It's loud from deck 8, so I don't know what it's like. That's why we'd be interested to know what it's like inside your cabin.
And yeah, it'd be interesting to know if it's exactly the same on Iona.
Yeah, so let us know if you've heard this creaking and what it's like inside your room. Okay, after that we headed in, we did a little bit more of exploring of the ship, filmed a little bit for our ship tour. What we have noticed is that now there are no Christmas decorations left in most of the ship areas, is there?
And it does actually make a difference, doesn't it?
It does, it definitely feels a little bit more sparse. It's that feeling you get when you're at home and you take all your Christmas decorations down and everything is like cleaner and there's more space and things like that, so that we're getting that feeling about the ship at the moment. After that we then headed back up to our cabin where we spent a good couple of hours sorting through our clothes, packing.
When we came back to the cabin last night, we had a little note in the door explaining disembarkation procedures. We've never sailed with P&O before and they don't give you any luggage tags to disembark. You've got to reuse the tags that you printed off before embarkation. Fortunately for us, we got these brilliant little luggage tags that are clear plastic cases that slip inside, so it prevents them from being damaged or snapped off.
I'm glad we kept them in those, because normally if we'd had the paper ones, which we did when we first started cruising, we used to pull them off and bin them. So it's a good job we didn't do that. And while we were in our cabin, we had a little knock on the door and we were delivered a free souvenir, weren't we? Which is from Arvia's maiden season, which is a lovely piece of artwork with a little note from the artist inside.
Depicting Arvia in sunnier climates, because Arvia is P&O's sunshine ship.
If you've had a piece of artwork, please let us know. We'd be interested to see if you've had the same one as us or if you've had different. Let us know. For lunch today, we headed up to the buffet.
Yeah, there was a nice little selection. I opted to have a cheese and onion pie, some chips, as well as some soft cheese and spring onion wraps, which were really, really nice.
And I had chicken and chips, and I also tried a little bit of the pork, but it was a bit fatty for me, so I wasn't that keen. But the chicken and chips were really nice.
Bar service was much quicker today, wasn't it?
Much quicker, even though the poor guy had to go to the other end of the ship because the bar at the aft of the ship had been closed because of the motion of the sea. No one was out there. But for dessert, we had 3 different cakes to try, didn't we? Which was nice. So we had a Victoria sponge, a chocolate cake, and a plum sponge with custard. All very nice. Really enjoyed them all.
Whether it's lunch, dinner or evening buffet, they've always got like a large selection of cakes and sweet treats.
Really nice cakes, actually. Really enjoy their cakes on the buffet.
We then thought, oh, go on, let's go down to the Future Cruise desk and price a few future cruises. We've never done this on board before, so we thought, oh, go on, we'll give them a chance, see what they can do.
But there was nothing really that took our fancy, was there? No real bargains.
No.
They did offer us an extra £25 per person on board spend if we booked on board today. But we think we can get much better deals off ship, so we chose not to go for any deals. After that then, we headed to the glass house for a couple of, one glass of wine, only one.
Yeah, we sat in the main atrium just on deck 7. And it was lovely, wasn't it? Really relaxing. It's quite busy. Just sat there, people watching, and the glass windows of the atrium are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, nice views out to sea from there. At this time it was around 3 o'clock and we knew there was going to be a music quiz in Brodie's. We hadn't had a chance to join in any of the quizzes in Brodie's just because we'd been so busy. So this was our chance to experience a quiz in Brodie's, and we really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a jukebox music quiz, handed out pencils and quiz sheet papers. Essentially, they went through 20 tracks and you had to name the artist and the song.
Yeah.
We didn't win.
We didn't win, but we definitely didn't do too bad, did we?
No. Unfortunately, one group had 39 out of 40.
Although that was just me and you in our group, and there was about 10 of them in their group, so I think we did reasonably well.
It's interesting, on P&O, we've never experienced this before in terms of quizzes and winning. You get a sticker that you've got to put in a prize book. And then towards the end of the cruise, you can cash in those stickers for other prizes such as pens or USB sticks.
Yeah, very interesting. So if you've won any P&O prizes, please let us know in the comments, because we'd like to know what they're actually like, because today is the only day you can collect the prizes. So we haven't actually seen them in person, and we haven't won any stickers because we've only done one quiz. So we'd like to know what they're like. After the quiz in Brodie's, we then headed to Ripple's Gelato.
On deck 8, just before the quays, if you're getting there from the main atrium, we thought we'd give the gelato on board a try. They've got a nice little seating area just opposite, so we grabbed ourselves a scoop. I had a Kinder.
I had one of their unique flavours.
Yeah, it's like Crafto or something.
Yeah, and it was like a caramel type flavour. Really nice, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the ice cream was beautiful, really.
Yeah, they do come at extra cost, and they're priced at 1, 2 or 3 scoops, and that comes in a tub, or you can pay an extra 50p to get them in a cone. So it's worth bearing in mind, but it's much better value to get 2 or 3 scoops than it is to a 1, but we had 1 each just to try them out. And
then we've headed back to the cabin because tonight we've got a full evening planned. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, we're just back after a absolutely fantastic meal. So our evening started off tonight with a little trip down to see the Overtones.
They were performing their second show in the Headliners Theatre and they did not disappoint.
No, they are such a fantastic group. They sang some of their own hits and some well-known classics as well, and we absolutely loved it, didn't we? We were swaying along and we were clapping and
clicking.
What a fantastic show. So thank you very much to those four guys in the Overtones. We had a fantastic evening.
Because our evening was so jam-packed, we went to the 6:45 show. It was a lot quieter than we initially expected, wasn't it?
Much quieter. As it's disembarkation tomorrow, we did expect people to be having an earlier night.
Yeah, very quiet. When we were leaving, the queues for the second show looked quite long, so I think a lot of people put off the early show for the later ones.
After the Overtones, we then headed straight to our evening reservation at Sindhu, and what a meal it was. We definitely saved the best until last.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. The food was the best we've had on board. It was absolutely fantastic.
So they started off by giving us a little appetizer of mini poppadoms with some different dips. Those all were beautiful, weren't they? We actually asked for a second portion because they were so nice.
Yeah, very Moorish, and the sauces that they gave us. Not particularly spicy, but very tasty.
Very tasty. And then for starter, I had the lamb cutlets, which were beautiful. Absolutely, we could have eaten double the amount. Fantastic.
No, they were delicious. And I opted to have the pork belly starter, and wow, there was a bit of chorizo in there, some beans. It was just so tasty.
Yeah.
I just would never have thought that type of combination would work. But wow, and it came on a little a roll of some type, and yeah, it was just absolutely incredible. So tasty. To share, we also had a little plate of filled flatbreads.
We did.
And again, they were just incredible.
Beautiful. Really nice. You just can't go wrong already. We can't go wrong at Sindhu. Fantastic.
It was beautiful. Honestly, absolutely stunning. The food was just incredible. The starters just blew us away straight away.
Yeah. Then we went on to our main course, and I had the duck, which was just as good. It came in a masala sauce and it was beautiful.
Very tasty. They asked you whether you wanted it medium
or well done, and he said the medium would come bloody, which I wasn't so keen on with duck, so I did go for the well done. But it was so tasty, so soft. The sauce was fantastic. Absolutely loved it.
And I opted for the beef fillet, and wow, the beef just fell apart. It was covered in herbs, and it came in a korma sauce. There was curried cabbage. It was absolutely outstanding. In addition to our main meals, we also had a couple of condiments. We had some flatbread, we had some rice, curried vegetables.
Yeah, we had some dal and some naan bread. It was beautiful, wasn't it? There was too much for us, too much. We couldn't finish it all, but we absolutely loved every element of it.
It was beautiful, fantastic.
With it, we also had a couple of glasses of red wine, and then we went on to dessert.
For dessert, I chose to go for elements of trifle, because those of you that are regular viewers will know I really do like a trifle. However, this was unlike any trifle I have ever seen in my entire life. But it was delicious. The flavours of the mango, the passion fruit was absolutely delicious.
And as I am a chocolate lover, as I've said before, went for the chocolate dessert, and it was like a little chocolate bomb covered in nuts, so it looked a bit like a Ferrero, didn't it? And it tasted divine. Absolutely lovely. And we've just come away now from that, and we're absolutely stuffed by the whole meal. Super impressed. Definitely the best meal we've had on the ship, and we've saved the best till last.
Yeah, if we were going to give it a score out of 10, it would have to be a 10. The service was incredible.
Yeah.
And wow, just what an experience. If you've never been to Sindhu before, it's not so much a traditional curry house, but more of Asian inspired culinary selections.
It is inspired by different regions in India and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Definitely do it again. And if we hadn't left it till the last night, we'd most probably have done it a few times throughout this cruise as well.
Well, we're back in the room and we're feeling quite sad.
Yeah, we've had an absolutely incredible final night on board Arvia, and we're just packing away the last few bits.
Yeah, you can see the suitcase just there. After our wonderful meal in Sindhu earlier, we headed up to the Sky Dome where we watched Euphoria perform another set. It was the Kings and Queens set, and again, what a spectacular duo. Fantastic fun, fantastic voices, weren't they?
They ended with an amazing performance of You'll Never Walk Alone. Euphoria coming from Liverpool. It was really quite something spectacular.
Well worth going to see. We really enjoyed that. After seeing Euphoria in the Sky Dome, we dashed down for our last visit to the wonderful 710 Club.
The 710 Club is a nice intimate venue. All of the artists and performers have been hand selected by Gary Barlow himself. You have to pre-book your visit via the My Holiday webpage, and they do 3 performances every evening. Each evening's got a different theme. This evening was 90s.
Yeah, it was 90s reloaded, but they did ask for a lot of requests in there. Any favourite songs they would play. And the thing is, if they don't know the song, they will find a way to do it, won't they? Because they're just so talented.
Yeah, they are absolutely incredible. So a couple of the audience threw a few songs at them that they hadn't necessarily played before, and they just started, and then one followed the other and the other and the other, and then they just started playing this song. It was incredible.
Those 4 lads in the 710 Club, thank you so much, because it was an absolutely brilliant visit once again. And the few times that we've been there during this cruise, we've been blown away each time.
Yeah.
We had a very, very close seat tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, right at the front.
And it is mesmerising to watch them do what they do. After the 710 Club, we headed straight to the casino where we cashed out our grand total of winnings for the cruise, which was
£20.
Yeah, 20 quid a winning.
The lowest we've
ever won.
Yeah, the lowest we've ever come back off the cruise.
Never mind, it was 20 quid is 20 quid, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's just important to note that you've got to cash out any casino winnings by 12 midnight.
Yes, so make sure you do that, otherwise you do lose it.
Yeah.
And that was it then. We headed up to the buffet quickly for a quick hot chocolate for me and a cake, and you had a quick snack, your usual cheese and biscuits, didn't you?
Yeah, just a couple of crackers with some cheese this evening. One last time, I suppose, because I won't be eating cheese for a little while, I think.
Yeah, diet starts tomorrow. And here we are, and that's it. We're back in the room and just finishing our packing. So that's it for Arvia.
Yeah, got to have an early night. We've got to be up around about 7:30. We've got quite a late disembarkation, haven't we?
We have. They give us between 9 and 10, which is probably the latest we've ever been able to disembark a cruise. But we'll probably try and be off a little bit earlier than that.
We'll do our best.
Well, we have arrived back home. So let's talk about disembarkation.
We had to vacate our cabin by 8 a.m, so we were up a little bit early just to finish off any bits of last minute packing, and then we made our way to the Horizon Buffet for breakfast.
Yeah, with leaving the ship, you're either in one of 2 camps really. You either like to get up super early and get off before everybody else, which is far too early for us really, or you like to get up and leave your cabin at the last minute and then head to breakfast. Well, actually that worked out quite well for us because we had quite a long wait ahead of us. As Dom said, we headed up to the buffet for breakfast. We found a seat by the window and we each got ourselves some breakfast.
Yeah, I just had some Frosties and some coffee and some juice, just because having all of the food over the last 14 days has sort of caught up with me.
So yeah, I grabbed myself some cereal and a cup of tea from the machine. The buffet was really busy, not just full of people, but full of everyone who were disembarking with their luggage, their bags, their coats. Because we arrived back in Southampton, everyone I think was ready for winter, being in January.
A couple of nights ago in our cabin, we found our disembarkation information, and basically that told us where we were to stay until we were ready for disembarkation, and ours was in the Headliners Theatre. The only problem with the Headliners Theatre was it was so full. We kind of had to hang around just outside and in and around the atrium until our time was called.
Once we were called, we headed to the gangway, scanned our cards and headed off the ship.
This is where the queues started, because we basically, as soon as we left the gangway, we joined a queue of passengers waiting to collect their luggage. Unfortunately, baggage collection was hectic, to say the least. People were pushing, scrambling for trolleys, barging past each other. It was not smooth at all, and it caused quite a bit of distress for some passengers.
Yeah, baggage collection was really chaotic. We really struggled to get through there once we found our cases, to even get out of the baggage hall itself. Once we were outside the terminal, we found it quite easy to get into a taxi, and we went to collect our car.
Very convenient. There are buses as well as taxi ranks, all just outside in the Ocean Terminal. So in terms of transportation links, they're pretty good. And that was it. That was our 14 nights on board Arvia over Christmas and New Year's, and we've got to say we thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this vlog series. We also have an Arvia review coming out very soon, so make sure you watch that.
Yes, what a fantastic time we had on Arvia. Although there were a few problems, overall we would definitely like to sail on Arvia again.
Thanks for watching our final day on board Arvia and also our disembarkation. If you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that bell icon to never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.